Welcome to Dark and Haunted Tales, where we bring you the most bone-chilling stories that will haunt your dreams. Are you ready to be terrified? Then let's begin. I never thought a simple road trip with my friends across the United States would turn into a terrifying ordeal. We were just 5 friends: Alex, Sarah, Mark, Lisa, and me, Guy, seeking adventure, driving through the heart of America in search of thrill and excitement. Our journey took an unexpected and chilling turn when we stumbled upon an old, dilapidated house in the middle of nowhere. It was a hot summer afternoon when we spotted the house. Its weathered wood and broken windows hinted at a history steeped in mystery. Our curiosity got the better of us, and we decided to explore it. As we entered, an eerie chill swept over us, making our skin prickle with unease. In the dusty living room, we found an ornate antique mirror. It was massive and imposing, taking up almost an entire wall. Its wooden frame was adorned with intricate carvings of twisted faces and grotesque figures. The glass itself seemed to ripple, as if it held secrets from a world beyond our own. Naturally, we couldn't resist the temptation to gaze into it. As I peered into the mirror, my reflection began to change. My face contorted into a grotesque mask of terror, and I saw my worst fears come to life before me. It was as though the mirror has reached deep into my soul and brought my darkest nightmares to the surface. My friends took turns looking into the mirror, and each of them had a similar experience. It was as if the mirror fed on our fears, transforming them into horrifying, tangible entities that swirled around the room. We watched in helpless horror as our fears manifested before us, tormenting us with their malevolent presence. Panic set in as we realized that the mirror had ensnared us in its twisted hold. Our attempts to leave the house was futile. The door wouldn't budge. The windows were sealed shut as if by an unseen force. We were trapped with our darkest fears, and there was no escape. One by one, our fears began to toy with us. For Alex, it was a relentless swarm of venomous spiders. For Sarah, it was the haunting specter of her deceased mother, who whispered chilling words of despair. Mark faced a doppelganger of himself, twisted and malevolent, while Lisa was pursued by an ethereal figure that promised to reveal her deepest secrets. Hours turned into days, and our torment only intensified. We grew weaker and more terrified with each passing moment. It seemed as if the mirror was draining the life from us, feeding on our fear and despair. Desperation finally drove us to devise a plan. We decided to smash the mirror, believing that it held the key to our escape. With trembling hands, we found an old chair and struck the mirror with all our might. The glass shattered into 1,000 pieces, and for a moment, we thought we were free. But the relief was short-lived. As the mirror shattered, our fears materialized in a nightmarish frenzy. The spiders, the ghostly figure, the doppelganger, and the secrets all converged upon us. We were engulfed in a nightmarish maelstrom of terror, unable to distinguish reality from our darkest fears. In the end, we managed to break free from the mirror's sinister grasp. We fled the house, leaving behind these twisted souls forever trapped in that nightmare of a house. To this day, the image of that ominous mirror haunts my every waking moment. I can't help but wonder if I'm still trapped within it, reliving that dreadful ordeal, my own darkest fear to come to life. It was a summer we'd never forget, when my group of friends and I decided to explore a forbidden forest deep in the US. Little did we know that our adventure would turn into a terrifying ordeal. This forest had a creepy reputation, with its dark, twisted trees and eerie silence. But we were curious and looking for excitement, so we went in. As we ventured further into the forest, the trees closed in around us, and it got darker. The chirping of birds stopped, and an eerie silence filled the air. We felt something wasn't right. In the heart of the forest, we found a strange clearing with an old, gnarled tree in the center. Under its shadow, we found an old book with strange writing and symbols. We read the words out loud, not knowing what they meant. Suddenly, the ground shook, and the forest around us changed. The trees turned into creepy shapes, and it felt like the forest was alive, responding to the magic we had unleashed. We tried to run, but the path we came in from was gone. The sky darkened, and the spooky mist surrounded us, making it harder to see. We heard strange whispers from all directions, leading us deeper into the forest. Night fell, and we saw strange figures among the trees, with glowing eyes. It felt like the forest was playing tricks on us, trying to scare us. We were exhausted and scared, huddled together, hoping to find a way out. But the forest was relentless, and we felt like it wanted to hurt us. Days passed, and we faced terrifying creatures and nightmares that made us question our sanity. We were trapped in a never-ending nightmare with no way out. But then, we stumbled upon an old altar in the forest with the same symbols from the book. We realized it could break the curse. With shaking voices, we said the words, hoping it would free us. The forest seemed to scream in pain, and everything twisted and faded away. We felt a burst of energy, and the curse started to break. With one final effort, we escaped the forest and found ourselves in the daylight. The forest went back to normal, and we were safe. We had survived, but the memories of that forest would always stay with us. We had gone into a cursed place and seen the true darkness that can exist in this world. My heart still aches when I think back to the fateful summer we had in the US. Christine and I, Aiden, were a young, happy couple deeply in love. But we had no idea that a vengeful spirit would soon turn our lives into a living nightmare. It all started innocently enough when we decided to move into an old charming house in a quiet, picturesque town in Virginia. The place had an eerie history, but I was never a believer in the paranormal or the supernatural, and neither was my girlfriend. So we brushed aside the local rumors of a vengeful spirit that had haunted it for decades. Love made us feel invincible, and we believed we could overcome anything together. As we settled into our new home, strange things began to happen. Objects moved on their own, eerie whispers echoed through the halls at night, and chilling drafts of cold air seemed to follow us wherever we went. At first, we attributed these occurrences to an overreactive imagination, but it soon became impossible to ignore the malevolent presence that had taken hold of our home. One night, as Christine and I lay in bed, we heard footsteps in the hallway. We knew we were alone in the house, but the footsteps drew nearer, stopping at our bedroom door. The handle turned slowly, and the door creaked open. We held our breath, paralyzed with fear, as a cold, spectral figure emerged from the darkness. It was a woman, her features twisted in agony, her eyes filled with malice. Christine gasped, recognizing her as the vengeful spirit that had been rumored to haunt the house. The spirit's gaze was fixed on us, and we could feel her seething anger as if it was a perceivable force. In a hollow, rasping voice, the vengeful spirit accused us of betraying her trust by occupying her house. She claimed that she had been wronged by a former lover who had lived in the house long ago and had vowed revenge on anyone who dared to make it their home. We tried to explain that we were innocent, that we had no knowledge of her past, but our words fell on deaf ears. The vengeful spirit's wrath knew no bounds. She tormented us relentlessly, throwing objects at us, making the temperature plummet, and filling the house with eerie cries and whispers. Sleep became an impossible luxury, and our once strong love began to fray under the weight of the spirit's malevolence. Desperate to escape the torment, we sought help from paranormal experts, priests, and even mediums, but none could rid our home of the vengeful spirit's presence. It seemed she was bound to the house by an unbreakable curse, and we were her helpless victims. In our darkest moments, Christine and I contemplated leaving the house, but the spirit's grip on us was unrelenting. She followed us wherever we went, her hollow eyes boring into our souls. We were trapped, and the vengeful spirit's fury only grew with each passing day. As our despair deepened, we stumbled upon an old diary hidden in the attic, detailing the tragic love story of the spirit's past. We learned that she had been betrayed by her lover, left to suffer in solitude and misery. The diary spoke of her thirst for revenge, which had bound her to the house for eternity. With newfound determination, we decided to right the wrongs of the past. We embarked on a quest to uncover the truth about the spirit's betrayal and find a way to appease her restless soul. 'Twas a perilous journey, filled with danger, but we were willing to do anything to break the curse and free ourselves from her vengeful grasp. Our journey took us deep into the heart of the spirit's tragic past. where we unraveled the dark secrets that have bound her to the house. 'Twas a harrowing experience, and we faced terrifying encounters with malevolent entities along the way. In the end, we confronted the vengeful spirit, offering her the closure she had long sought. With tears in her eyes, she forgave us and finally found peace, dissipating into the ethereal realm. Our lives slowly returned to normal, but the scars of that terrifying ordeal remain with us to this day. We learned that love can endure even in the face of the supernatural, and became believers of that. But we also discovered the depth of darkness that can lurk in the shadows, waiting to exact revenge from beyond the grave. Thank you guys for joining us on these terrifying stories. If you enjoyed the video and want to experience more bone-chilling stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and turn on post notification. Until next time, sleep tight if you can.